Commanders Nation, what's about to pop off in Washington is bigger than any touchdown you've ever seen, and you need to hear about it now. The team's owner just dropped a bomb that's going to shake the very foundation of our identity. The decision has been made, and there's no turning back. The rumors about our name? They're done, finished. What's coming next? It's bound to give you chills. But wait, because that's not all. A star receiver, a legit Super Bowl champion, might be packing up for DC as we speak. Negotiations are on fire right now. With $78 million in salary cap space, this move could turn our offense into an unstoppable machine. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more explosive, bam! The future of our home is on the line. 3 states are fighting over us, and the final decision could split our legendary fan base in half. The next home of the Commanders is sparking a full-on territorial war. Don't even think about missing a single second of this. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because this is the kind of news that's going to change the future of our franchise. Attention, Commanders fans! Is the name Redskins coming back? Josh Harris has spoken once and for all. What's going on with this franchise's identity, fans? I've got some breaking news to deliver straight to your heart. Josh Harris, the owner of the Washington Commanders, just announced that the team will not change its name again. That's right, you heard it. After years of debates, controversies, and endless speculation, Commanders is here to stay. Was this the right call? Or is Harris ignoring the voice of a divided fan base? Let's get straight to the heart of it. Here's what I'm saying loud and clear. The name Commanders was born out of chaos. First, the retirement of Redskins in 2020, then the temporary patchwork of football team, and finally, in 2022, we landed on this name that plenty of people still can't stand. But Harris isn't backing down. It's now part of our DNA, part of our culture. We're sticking with it. And you know what? I believe him. Why? Because Harris isn't just betting on a name. He's building a legacy. With Dan Quinn on the sidelines, Jayden Daniels as our franchise quarterback, and a team that nearly made it to the Super Bowl this season, are we really going to keep fighting over the past? But hold up! Here's my question for you. Isn't Harris risking alienating those traditionalists who long for the old name? Or those fans who won't even say Commanders out loud? Of course, the ghost of Redskins still lingers. And for good reason. That name carried decades of controversy, sure, but also championships, memories, and identity. Harris knows this, and that's why he's decided to close that wound. Choosing unity over nostalgia? Absolutely! But let's be real for a second. My take is simple. This franchise needs stability. With a new stadium on the horizon, a star quarterback, and a solid foundation, why stir the pot again? Another name search? It'd be madness. The past may hurt, but the future looks bright. Guess what? 65% of DC residents support this decision. Numbers don't lie, people. But what about history? This is the real dilemma. How do you honor the legacy without reviving the ghosts? Harris seems to have an answer. We'll work to blend the present with our rich history. Bringing back those iconic colors? Retiring legendary numbers? Now that would be gold. Because, fans, let's be real, the name is just a word. The heart of this team lies in the legends that wore the uniform. What do you think? Was Harris right to keep the name Commanders? Or should he have listened to those who still cry out for Redskins? Cooper Kupp to the Commanders? The NFC wouldn't know what hit them. What are we waiting for, Commanders fans? A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity just hit the table. Cooper Kupp, Super Bowl MVP and NFL Triple Crown winner, is on the market. Should the Commanders go all in? Or would that be one massive mistake? Let's break it down with my signature cool-headed analysis. Here's where I stand. If Adam Peters, Washington's GM, doesn't give Jayden Daniels a weapon like Kupp, he's committing sports treason. Listen, back in 2021, Kupp was the best wide receiver in the world, 1,947 yards, 16 touchdowns. An absolute monster. Sure, injuries slowed him down later, but let me tell you something. In 2024, he played 15 games and racked up 1,100 yards. Still got it? You bet he does. Now, I've got to ask, are we really about to let a Super Bowl starter, a locker room leader, a third down machine, slip through our fingers when Daniels desperately needs help? Terry McLaurin is good, no argument there, but he's not enough. Remember how unstoppable the Eagles were with Brown and Smith? Or the Dolphins with Hill and Waddle? Having two game changers makes all the difference. Kupp and McLaurin? Defenses wouldn't stand a chance. But hold on. Let's talk money. The Commanders have $78 million in salary cap space. Kupp's contract? 3 years, $80 million. Is it expensive? Obviously. But you know who can't afford T.O. Wade? A team that just made the NFC Championship and has Jaden Daniels in his prime. Spend now or regret later, folks. And here's the final piece of evidence I need. Cliff Kingsbury, our offensive coordinator, loves smart receivers who know how to read defenses. And really, who's better at that than Kupp? The man runs routes like a surgeon. Picture this, Daniels hitting Kupp on slant routes, McLaurin blowing past defenses vertically. It'd be lights out. But what about the injuries? Here's the dark side. Kupp is 31 years old and missed 6 games in 2023 due to an ankle injury. It's a risk. Is he worth a second-round pick? I'd say yes. Because even at 80%, Kupp is better than 90% of the league's WR2S. And in the playoffs? That man turns into something else. Final verdict, Adam Peters needs to call the Rams yesterday and offer a second-round pick. If they want more, let them keep him. But for a third-rounder? You'd be robbing them blind. Washington doesn't need projects, we need stars. What do you think? Should the Commanders go after Kupp or look for younger options? The DMV in crisis. Is Josh Harris betraying Maryland? The Commanders' new stadium could change everything. What is happening here, Commanders fans? Josh Harris just dropped a bomb that's splitting the DMV in two. The Commanders owner admitted that Washington, D.C. is the most viable option for the new stadium, but at the same time says everything's still on the table. Is this a brilliant strategy or a complete disaster fueling the controversy? Let's unpack it. Here's the deal, plain and simple. This is a political checkmate. Harris has 3 states circling like sharks, and now he's got them fighting. Why? Because while Maryland has been their home, D.C. is the team's history, and Virginia is dangling free land in front of him. The move? But fans, is going back to D.C. really the best move? Let me ask you this, do you remember a golden ERA at FedEx Field? Nope. Because that stadium has been a total nightmare, broken seats, flooded bathrooms, parking lots that look like war zones. No wonder Harris wants to run. But where would he go? According to polls, 62% of fans want DC nostalgia at work. Absolutely. That's where 3 Super Bowls were won. Legends like Riggins, Theismann, and Green walked there. But what about Maryland and Virginia fans who have been filling that nightmare stadium? Is Harris taking them for granted? And here's the fact that blows it all wide open. Maryland has been loyal for 25 years. They gave the team land, tax breaks, support, and now Harris is saying, we have a great relationship with Maryland. But, wow, that but is a betrayal. Does Maryland deserve to be abandoned, forced to watch their team move back to D.C.? And don't even get me started on Virginia. They're offering 200 free acres, and Harris doesn't even mention them by name. My truth is this, Harris is playing poker with politicians. He knows D.C. is desperate to bring the team back home, and they might just give him the world, tax breaks, infrastructure upgrades, maybe even a new metro stop. Meanwhile, Maryland and Virginia would get nervous and up their own bids. Is this ethical? Doesn't matter. Harris is chasing the best deal, not the most popular move. But what about the fans? Here's where things could go very wrong. If the stadium moves to D.C., ticket prices will skyrocket. A central, state-of-the-art, luxury venue for the rich. And the working-class fans from Maryland? No more tailgates for them. Does Harris want a VIP temple or a sanctuary for the die-hard faithful? My prediction, the stadium is headed to D.C. Why? Because Mayor Bowser is sweet-talking Harris with promises like, I'll trade you the National Mall if you sign. But this move will betray thousands. And the team will pay for it. Without Maryland's legendary fan base. What are the Commanders? A team without roots. What would you do? Build in D.C. to honor history, or stay loyal to Maryland's fans who've stuck with you through thick and thin? Commanders fans, listen up. This channel is nothing without your voice. We need to hear your thoughts about the future of this franchise. 3 questions, 1 mission. Did Josh Harris nail it by keeping Commanders, or did he waste his last shot at listening to fans who wanted Redskins? Would you go with nostalgia over unity, or are you all in on this choice? Cooper Kupp, mega contract or genius gamble? Do you think his experience is worth the risk, or is it time to invest in young talent and build for the long haul? Be real, what deal would you make? The stadium, deep roots in DC, or loyalty to Maryland? If the power was in your hands, would you claim the historic symbol or honor the fans who've carried this team through dark times? Drop your answers into the comments, hit that like button if you're demanding more debates like this, and subscribe with notifications on. This isn't just a channel, it's the home of everyone who lives and breathes these colors. Are you in, or just watching from the sidelines? And remember, hail to the Redskins!